Hi everyone, nice to see you. Packed house, it's good to see. I'm feeling confident now. I've got my new executive trainers on, so I look the part as properly media, isn't it? So in the introduction, I'm going to tackle a few misconceptions around the connected TV space. This time last year, I was on this very stage and I was talking about how the role of the manufacturer has changed. So we've moved, and our role has evolved from just being that TV to be a search and recommendation engine, allowing people to engage with new content, download apps, and what impact that has on viewing behaviors. So I want to carry on that discussion a little bit and take on a few misconceptions. But first of all, I'm going to start with a general update of what our view of the streaming landscape is looking like right now. There we go. We're in a really fortunate position at Samsung where we've got a truly agnostic view of how our TVs are being used. But it's really important to acknowledge as well that we are measuring smart TV users. So we're not trying to be statistically representative of the entire TV market. But measuring smart TV users has got real validity for a couple of reasons. First of all, the data that it gives us has a really good clarifying picture about how TV evolution is going, how changing TV viewing habits are happening. And the second is that we're selling more TVs. So with the penetration of smart TVs expected to be 85% of Western European homes by 2026, it's a rapidly growing section of the ecosystem. Caveat over, okay? So what do we know about the Samsung TV user? So in the EU5, they stream a lot. So 72% of our universe is streaming. And that is growing very quickly. So in H1 this year versus H1 last year, it's grown 21%. Now that could be explained away by the fact that we're selling more TVs, so our universe is growing naturally. But also the ease of consumption of streaming services is that's much easier. We're also seeing an explosion, a continued explosion of app opens from our home screen. In EU5, we've got around about 35 million TVs. And in H1 alone, we've seen 5 billion app opens from that TV, and we're seeing significant growth sort of month on month. So just over the last month, we saw an additional 5% growth. And that kind of explains to us, I think it's a reasonable argument to make that our home screen is becoming more like the EPG for us. So where users are on that home screen and selecting what app to open rather than what channel to tune into. So what apps are they actually watching? I love this chart from 3Vision. It shows the global SVOD landscape over the years. Around about 2011, you saw a significant growth, not in terms of just services that are available, but also, and as the bubbles represent, the number of subscriptions globally. Again, using 3Vision, we haven't got this data, but we saw from the AVOD situation, real growth from 2011 onwards, not just in terms of number of services available, but also revenue that's coming. It's a very consistent picture that we see across Europe, actually, that the real growth in streaming has been driven through AVOD and subscription services, with BVOD largely plateauing. But our job as a manufacturer is actually to help our broadcaster partners to really address this and drive their own growth as well. But we are kind of preaching to the converted. You guys know a lot of this. It's really important to get the full context as well, right? So streaming, whilst it's growing, whilst it's a hot topic for debate in venues such as this, it really is just over half of all time spent on our TVs. So whilst it's growing, it represents 52% of all time spent on our TVs across Europe. So I think it's fair to say as well, as you'll hear in many of these conversations, that TV has never been more powerful. For the viewer, we've got more content choice than ever before at our convenience. But for the advertiser, it's a brilliant time because there's more first-party deterministic viewing data than they ever had before. And what makes TV so great? I think trade bodies like ThinkBox do a great job in promoting the strength of TV. And we've got charts like this. So we know that TV is unrivaled in terms of reach and frequency and softer metrics like performance, really. But also these very digital metrics around video. So full screen video, high completion rate, the sound on, shared viewing, great independent, robust measurement. So it works, right? And for many reasons, quite rightly so, linear TV has always been seen as the gold standard, and rightly so. But with streaming, it's not considered the same. It's not considered the same environment, it's not considered the same performance, and yet it's often using exactly the same creative on the same device. So I want to use this little bit of time that I've got left to challenge just 4 misconceptions about this space. So, misconception number 1. Streaming and connected TV doesn't have any quality content. Fair enough. SVOD has renowned for having the best content. They're investing eye-watering sums into content. Let's just have a look at Prime right now. They're investing huge amounts in brilliant original quality programming. They're also investing in sort of big blockbuster exclusives as well with like Lord of the Rings. And live sport continues to be a focus for them and maybe more so going forward. Again, preach to the converted, we all know this, but really it's the fast services or AVOD that has poorer quality content. It's the home for reruns of previous favorites. When preparing for today, I was very conscious that we use FAST as an acronym now. It's kind of seeped into the vernacular over the last year or so, but no one's really described what it is. So bear with me, I'll give it a go before I seamlessly defend FAST reputation. So FAST, free ad-supported streaming TV. Very simply, think scheduled content within streaming channels. And then you've got AVOD, so ad-funded video on demand. Think standalone apps with content that's on demand. Hopefully that's clear. I think FAST is going to be more and more of a hot topic. Incidentally, we've got a demonstration of Samsung's FAST channel on the mezzanine level. So please do have a look. So where was I? Right, brutally defending our position. It may surprise you that we and other sort of FAST services are investing heavily in licensing. So just this year, we've done deals with brands you may have recognized. So ITV Studios, BBC Studios, Lionsgate, Fremantle, All3Media. So we're bringing the cord cutters more broadcast quality content than ever before. The latest for us to announce is Jamie Oliver. He's got his brand new, his own channel within this service. But we've got live news, we've got live sport. So viewers in Spain are watching the World Cup on our service. And we've also got exclusives. So whilst absolutely it's fair enough to criticize the quality a couple of years ago, it's rapidly evolving in this space. Misconception number 2. With all the platforms and devices and services and apps, it's impossible to manage ad frequency. Maybe this is unique to the manufacturer, but again, this is how we're helping advertisers. Again, having that glass level view, we can solve the complexity and serve their ads to TVs that we know have not already been exposed to the campaign. Right, let's give a little bit more context of what I mean by that. Here's a couple of campaigns that we've run in different European markets, one for Vodafone, the other for Nissan. Linear is fantastic at driving reach. It is uncomparable, but there are gaps now. So what we can do is we can segment all of our viewing into heavy, medium, light, and non-linear viewers. And then we can see how that linear campaign performed. And no matter how much you spend, linear performs really well for heavy and medium, but there are now gaps where they just can't reach light linear viewers at scale. Why? Because those light linear TV viewers are watching on average less than 3 hours of linear TV per month on our TVs. So you can spend even more money on linear, but you're not going to get more than that, and you're obviously not going to get any coverage on the non-linear viewers. So using connected TV, you can, again, fill in the gaps and target just the light and the non-linear viewers. But also, crucially, both of these examples, they use the connected TV data to understand far more about the audiences that they are reaching and the ones that they're not. So to really help drive and fuel their total TV plan. Misconception number 3. So the quality of experience is not the same on streaming as it is on linear. Now, I think it's fair to say that smart TVs have fundamentally changed the landscape of the TV ecosystem. We've now got services that are built for the TV that are in the TV. So the need for additional devices, so the set-top boxes and the streaming stick, is becoming largely redundant the more the modern TV evolves. Now, other manufacturers will absolutely be in the same boat as they're constantly innovating. But we are now evolving the experience within the TV in a similar evolution to the phone. So we've gone from the smartphone, or for the phone to the smartphone. It's the same with TV. There is so much more functionality within the device itself than ever has been before. So again, I'm not working in Curry, so I'm not going to sell you a TV here, but just to highlight a little bit of functionality. So you can seamlessly sync with your PC, so it acts as a monitor. We've now got a gaming hub within the TV. So that means you don't need an additional set-top, a games console. You can play cloud-based computing games within the TV itself. Multi-screen functionality, you can do health and fitness within the home. You've got option of thousands of apps. Arguably, it's too much choice. But there's a choice of the apps that are pre-installed on our TVs, and then the thousands that you can automatically install from the App Store as well. And it's even becoming the hub of the home, where you can control all the other internet-enabled devices within this central place. But I think that's all nice, but I think what's really important is the brains of the TV have evolved so much more. It's so much more powerful. So gone are the days of that clunky experience, the lag, the constant buffering. You just don't get that in the modern TVs now. And it's up to us as a manufacturer, but also the operating systems within other devices to really aid the viewer experience, give content suggestion, help that navigation. That's what's going to be a real focus going forward. And the final one is ad perception. As I said, linear ads are perceived to be the gold standard for absolutely understandable reasons. They've got all the heritage there. But ads within the streaming environment just aren't considered the same. So to see if this was true, we commissioned a bit of research for an independent company called Verve. Very long bit of research. But essentially, they were trying to compare linear with BVOD and AVOD, and to see if the ad experience was perceived to be any different. Lots of data, but largely, there wasn't much difference, which is actually a really good thing. Yes, AVOD was slightly more, but I'm not going to sort of say that it's significantly more. So there's not much difference in the perception from the viewer. From the same bit of research, there was another sort of interesting stat that came out, that 2 out of 3 UK respondents are very happy with the balance between getting free content in exchange for ads. Again, that shouldn't really surprise us because the broadcasters have been doing that brilliantly. But where there is now a higher expectation is that they expect those ads to be tailored to them. That it needs to be more addressable. And that's where the power of the data within connected TV can really help. Timing-wise, we're good. I think, to be hopefully humble, I think some of these conceptions and perceptions were absolutely valid, right? But I think for the last few years, the connected TV space has come a huge way. Yes, that's driven by technology, but it's also driven by investment. And are we there yet? Of course not. We've still got much more work to do. There's more collaboration to happen. That was a big buzzer that we heard yesterday. But that is definitely coming. But it's right to challenge the preconceptions now. But what is irrefutable is the data that we've got right now. And it's a fairly clear picture for advertisers. You can't work in silos anymore. So this again uses the EU5 data. So again, we've got 35 million TVs. 20% of our TVs are exclusively streaming. So they don't watch any traditional linear whatsoever. And a further 27% we categorize as very light linear viewers, so they watch less than 3 hours a month. So add those two numbers together, then you're getting close to half of our total TVs in Europe are very hard to reach through linear alone. And that's why using the capabilities of connected TV and the data, that's where we're trying to help planners and buyers to navigate that complexity and make the most out of their total TV campaigns. I think I have seen my marketing team here, but apologies, there's a bit of blue sky thinking to leave you with, and I'm a little bit of a cynic, but this holds true. The combination of content and great data is an incredibly powerful one. Now, we know that connected TV is massively having an influence on the way that TVs are being used and viewing behaviors. But genuinely, the opportunity here is that connected TV is the cement now for TV advertising's exciting future. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay. No questions for Andy? Going once, literally going twice? No?
Cool.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.